This video is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Number 1, read the line.
You will behold the glory of my sacred wood.
That's not him.
Okay. Number 2, read the line.
You will behold the glory of my sacred wood.
Absolutely not.
Okay. Number 3.
You will behold the glory of my sacred wood.
That's him.
Every year, 1 in 5 gamers is accosted by an elf. We're tired of elves.
What's up, gamer? iTZKooPA here, back at the Trion booth. We're checking out End of Nations, which is an MMORTS, which they've tried before but never really gotten 100%. Not you guys, but yes, they haven't tried before, but other people have tried before. So I'm here with Chris, and he's going to be guiding us through this. So what is End of Nations?
Yeah, so as you said, End of Nations is an MMORTS made by Petroglyph Games. So, some of the guys that made the original Command and Conquer, these guys know how to make RTS.
Thanks for that, by the way.
So our main goal here in the beginning is we're going to make a really great RTS and then add all those MMO elements that make sense to it. But we're really going to take a core RTS game and then add those elements that make sense to this game. And I'll show you that here.
Yeah, let's take a look.
So right here is our war room. This is like the central nervous center of the game when you log in. It'll show you, current missions you have, replays of matches that maybe have gone on recently, new units available, guild information, leaderboards, your friends list, what specific maps they're playing on. We're going to jump into the headquarters. So every player has their own persistent headquarters. This is not a place where combat happens. This is like your own little private area. This is one for a higher level person, so there's a lot of stuff in it. Other players can visit it, look at it. We have these.
So is this stuff in the background then? Is this ours too?
Yeah, this is yours too. So is this one down here. What you do is this is where you manufacture, which is like crafting, where you do research and development, and then you can lay down these, like this airfield right here. We have these super weapons in the game that you can call like a giant air attack. But in order to do that, you have to research and build these structures. And you also have your armory here, which is pretty much the most important part of your entire game. So here you have your unit collection. These are units that you currently have. These ghosted ones are ones you don't. So there's a collectability element to this too. And once I have a whole set, I can get a set bonus for those type of units I'm using.
Kind of like a gear set bonus?
Sure, yes.
Are these custom painted?
Yeah, so you can customize them. You can pick a primary and a secondary color, change around your emblem. And then when you save that, it goes across your entire army. So your army has one unique or one unified look to it. The other thing here is that we have a loadout system. So each map that you can go to has a certain point limit, and each unit is worth a certain amount of points. So if you're going,
that's the strategy coming in.
That's part of the strategy, right? So if I'm going to go to a 200-point map, I have to pick the right units to go into that map. And also, that allows higher level players to play with lower level players, because you have that loadout limit as the balancing point for going into map.
Is there like teams, so like 2v2 maps kind of style and everything?
Yeah, we'll jump straight into this world map, and I'll kind of explain a little bit of that to you. So a big part of the game is player versus environment. So Order of Nations is the big enemy that people fight against. So it's more cooperative gameplay a lot of times. There's different objectives and missions on maps that you can either do alone or do with friends. We'll have a robust PvP system where there'll be 4v4, different types of maps, control points, 12 versus 12, 20 versus 20.
Wow.
As many as we want, really. It's more of a gameplay restriction than the number of people on a map. And we also will have an overarching metagame where players can join one of two factions and then fight on maps for certain territories, like a risk game. And then when your faction owns certain territories, you gain bonuses as well. So there's that overarching metagame as well.
So, but how are the two factions going to organize themselves to, like, say, take over all of Asia and stuff like that?
Well, I think that's up to you, right?
So we got to cooperate. You're going to make us cooperate.
So I mean, that's part of it. It's part of an MMO, right? It's the cooperative social gameplay. It's also giving the tools so players find, in many ways, their own ways to play the game, right? So we're definitely trying to do that. So this map is the Acropolis. It's Order of Nations has built this huge stronghold somewhere in the central U.S. And usually this is like maybe you'll take 4 friends with this map, and it's fairly objective based. So here's my army here. And on this side of the screen you have your units, your loadout. On this side of the screen you have your abilities, your powers, maybe consumables that you've looted that you can use in the battlefield, as well as super weapons that we built at our headquarters.
You see all this stuff going on behind us. Is this...
So these units here are on our side. They're NPC AI controlled. So they have this beachhead here, and it's our job to push forward to the end of the map and eventually take it over. Yeah.
So if our units here die, this is our our loadout. They're dead until we do a new map?
No. So if your units die, you can start back at the respawn point again. And part of that too is there's control points that are respawn points later in the map. So you got to take those points so when you respawn back in, you'll be starting further in the map. Or your friends could jump in and they'll be starting.
And they'll be able to jump right behind me.
Right. Now here's the kind of place where the tactics come in. So here you have this area with these gigantic Gatling guns. You have these garages where units spawn out of. So this is where you got to think of how you want to approach it. These guns you can actually take over and control. So a couple things you can do. If you're an artillery guy, maybe you want to stay far back and blow up the garages before you go in so no more units.
See our front-loading units just getting...
If you're more of like a fast strike guy, maybe you want to put your jeeps in like a hidden mode, get them up there, take over the gun before the battle, you get the rest of the units in the battle. We're just going to jump in though. So here you can see the control point being taken over, and now that gun is ours. So now it's shooting for us.
So as a general, you basically can choose which way you want to be. If you want to be like a Blitzkrieger or a stealth kind of recon guy.
Yeah, so you pick a class and then you specialize in a certain type of strategy. And we really wanted to make those fairly asymmetric, so there's a good reason to be playing with friends. Like you're the artillery guy, I need you to come in and help me with this map, or I'm the tank guy, I'll soak up all the damage, and you shell from the outside. So there's all that strategy.
One of the keys to RTSs is usually resource control. Is there resources that they're getting that you can, have your friend, like as a secondary thing, go cut them off in the back or something from getting those?
Like on a map like this, that's pretty much these control points. So like, I'm taking over their Gatling guns, I'm taking over this respawn point. Maybe I'll take over an airfield and that'll give me an extra super weapon attack. That sort of thing. These actually also spit out units, so you want to make sure you can defeat them. And these are shooting actually to the middle of the map, a place we already been through. So taking these guns out will help other friends be able to come up the map without having to take those garages. And then this entire wall goes the entire length of the map, cutting it in half. So you can't continue until you defeat this big gun here in the wall and break your way through.
Wow, that's a massive gun.
Yeah. And it's only vulnerable when this gate is open. So there's a lot of timing involved there. And
it looks like it's reloading or something?
Yeah, you can actually see it reloading if you look in the back. You can see the shell come out, and then you'll see the shell roll in here and load in. So it's like a slow loader. Yeah. So a lot of attention to detail.
Are there guilds and guild advancement and stuff like that?
Yeah, we definitely have guilds, coalitions. Any of the features along with guilds we're not quite ready to talk about yet. But yeah, I mean, that's essential in an MMO, right? You need to have that grouping of people.
So, I mean, obviously you're saying you can't talk about a few different things. How far off is the game?
We're launching in 2011, and that's as specific we've got right now. So.
Okay. Do we know even time frames for betas or anything like that? And can we get in?
Of course you can get in, but we're obviously doing a pretty good beta, and that'll depend on the launch window when that starts. But we'll definitely have we need a lot of people in this beta. This is a very unique game, something that really hasn't been done like this on this scale, and we're gonna need a lot of testing to figure out what we haven't thought of, right?
Yeah, we hope you give it the testing it needs because it looks like a lot of fun, and there hasn't been a really breakout MMORTS, so we'd love to see one.
Yes, you will.
So 2011, End of Nations, keep your eye out for it. Thanks a lot, Chris.